up here. Bill Tillman, third place winner of the 1954 6-Mile National. Bill's motorcycle career started in 1942 in Oakland, California, when finally tiring of a 12-hour day, 7 days a week at the Oakland Naval Supply Depot, set out to return to Rockville, Illinois, his home. He was walking down the street when he saw a sign in the window of Hap Jones Indian Sales, which said mechanic wanted. He walked in, applied for the job. The man said, "Have you got any tools?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "They're in shipment from Illinois." A small lie, but what the hell? He got the job. They put him to work, and he stayed there until the fall of 1945. The tools never did get there. The war ended, and Hap asked if Bill would build an Indian racer for a big race coming up in San Francisco between Mario Stillo. The final was between Stillo and Sam Marino, a racing great of the time. Stillo won, and Bill was hooked. He traded his motorcycle off for an Army surplus Indian and shipped it back to Illinois. Built his first racer. His first race was in 1946 and finished second to Leo Anthony. A lot of you don't know that name, but Leo Anthony was a tiger. In 1947, Bill won more first places than any two men combined in the United States. In 46 races, Bill won 41 times, second twice, and third 3 times. In 1948 and 49, he claimed 192 wins, 72 seconds, and 21 thirds. Let's see, he was the Illinois State Champion 7 times. He was #1 plate holder in 1954. That was 53 was the last year they issued the #1 plate for winning Springfield, which was considered the toughest race in the United States, and he won that. He kept the #1 plate through 54. He was voted into the AMA Hall of Fame. Bill retired from racing in 1955 and worked as a factory rep for VSA for 3 years until he opened a Honda dealership, which he operated for 18 years. So that means he's rich like everybody else in the motorcycle business. When Bill Tuman, Bobby Hill, and Ernie Beckman, who the press named the Wrecking Crew, showed up at the track, the rest of the field knew their work was cut out for them. They were recognized as the fastest 3 Indians in the country at the time and knew what to do with it. Bill, what's your most cherished moment in your racing career?
Well, of course, winning Springfield was the most cherished. That gives you the #1, and that's what I set out to do. I lucked out doing it. But to get there was a little bit of work the day of the race. In the heat race, somebody ran into me and folded my number plate in against the tire, and I couldn't get going. Finally, the tire got hot, started to melt, and the number plate went away, and last lap I'm in last place in the heat. And I backed it off a little bit and let it get a little run on me on the corner. And so I got ahead of me a ways, so give me room to get cranked on. So I cranked on to come out the straightaway for the flag, and they all lined up in front, no place to go. The old looking Clamforth, he knew what was coming. He moved over and up for my wheel to go in there. I took a little height off his arm, and I was in there, and I got the last transfer spot. So that was it. So then in the final, we had a good race going there. Joe Leonard and the whole crew, and Albert Gunner could have won the race. He had a BSA twin, had 20 mile an hour on the rest of us, but he couldn't get around the corner. So I wound up winning that, got #1, and that was it.
Tommy was working in the shop. He just got out of the Army, come back from grass racing in England, and he was working in the shop over in Granger Street in Norfolk, and he had a single cylinder. We always razzed him, said, why do you run a single cylinder? He said, hell, I can't afford to run 2 cylinders, it costs too much. And it was not uncommon for him, and it's hard for people to believe, but he would work a week on a piston, just preparing that thing for that race job. It's unbelievable. What is your advice to the new common racetrack?
Oh, get a sponsor. Yeah, he's talking about all them wins I had, but he didn't mention the fact that we used to race 7 times a week. We'd race night, Saturdays, Saturday nights, Sunday afternoon, and Sunday night. And back then, a lot of the races was scratch and handicap, so you could pick up 7 first and 1 night. It was pretty good. So they added up real quick that way, but I was lucky. In 1955, when I quit, I was out in Pennsylvania. I pulled in after the race, and I went over to Walt Brown. I says, you know where a guy can find a job? He says, why? He says, well, I just quit racing. When? I said, just now. He says, how come? I said, well, I reached my pocket, pulled out all the money I had that I made racing. And I looked at that and I said, I better find a job.
BillTuman, third place, 6 Mile National Championship race. You can take that home and keep some money. Somebody won't have to swap any.
What you know what time I get home?
There you go.
Actually, Andrew, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
Hey, I've been taking that short for myself.